Hey guys, Mikhail here for another device deal video. Today we are looking at one of the latest in the Netgear Nighthawk series routers, which is the RAXE300 series. Now the special thing about this one is that it introduces Wi-Fi 6E technology, which is kind of just an extension of Wi-Fi 6, which you may already know about, but the big improvement is that it actually adds an extra band. It adds a 6 GHz band. So you're getting a lot more, bandwidth and capabilities through there. And I'll explain that a little bit more in a moment, but it is pretty much the very big innovative feature of these new routers. So what is Wi-Fi 6E and why is it something you even need to consider? Well, right now, there are a number of limitations with the current infrastructure and technology, mainly things like an increasing number of devices, a lot of congestion, and too much traffic on the Wi-Fi bands as it is, including also some interference with that congestion on the two existing bands. So with Wi-Fi 6E, it's adding that third band, which is now going to allow for additional traffic and allow you to have lower latency, much higher bandwidth, and just, smoother transition. So a way that I actually kind of like to look at it is the thought of adding a bus lane, on a highway. You can have your dedicated high-powered devices, or the ones that need the most bandwidth or the most amount of data input, and those can be on a separate band so that they can get the best amount of traffic. This is going to be really good for future innovations like things like 8K streaming or improved VR or AR experiences. Okay, so now we're going to do the unboxing, show you what's inside. First thing you'll see is a quick start guide. As kind of the same with all the Netgear products, they're super easy to set up. It's really just a 3-step process. If you already own other Netgear products, you'll already probably have the app, and it's just really just a straightforward setup with it. Then you'll get your standard just limited warranty and some instructions information. Then we've got the device itself. You can see here, inside nice plastic, you'll have your power adapter, your choice of Australian or US connection or overseas connection. Obviously in Australia we'll be using the 2-prong one here, and then also the Ethernet cable. So this is just to connect obviously your NBN modem or whatever modem you've got to the router itself. So we're going to deep dive a little bit more into the actual specifications of this router. So first things first, it's got a very impressive speed of up to 7.6 gigabit per second speeds collectively between the bands. And it's also got a really good range as well. I know that is quite a big issue with people's routers at the moment, where people have issues with range with the standalone router. And that's why sometimes people might go for an extender or a mesh, but this one on its own has really good range built in as well. It can cover up to around 230 square meters is what they advise. Really suitable for something that's around like a 3 to 4 bedroom home. And the reason it's able to get such good range on its Wi-Fi range is because it's got 6 antennas built in that's going to be beaming in a number of locations to ensure you've got the best spread of Wi-Fi across the building. There is a lot of power driving behind this router, as it uses a quad-core processor which has 1.7 gigahertz of processing power. So that's really good for a router. On top of that, you've also got a really smooth QoS, which allows you to kind of prioritize applications or services to allow more internet bandwidth or traffic to ensure that you get the best streaming service. So, for example, you may want to prioritize television TV over somebody's laptop if you are doing more of your streaming or higher quality streaming through those devices. So we're going to have a quick look at the ports as well. So it's really handy that there is a good number of ports on this device. You've got your 4 LAN ports, but then you've also got 2 gigabit ports, one of those being multi-gig ports. So for one of those gigabit ports, it can actually be either 2.5 gigabit or 1 gigabit as well. So, the high importance of that is if you're using it on a device that you want a wide connection to with super fast and reliable speeds. This could be things like your gaming PC or a gaming console, anything that just requires really, really high speeds and with minimal to no interruptions whatsoever. Another handy thing with this router is that it's got a USB port. It's a USB-C port, but it allows you to put in a storage device. So, you know, you could plug in an external hard drive or USB-C, USB stick, just some kind of storage attached device that can go to the router and then allow you to have that remote access to other devices in the house as long as you're connected to that network. So like, it's a really good way to kind of share data across different devices from a single location, rather than having to email things across, or, you know, having that difficulty of moving files across multiple devices. So you've also got two buttons on the face of the router here, which some people may really enjoy. The one is just for WPA connection, so, you know, it's just kind of a simple way to connect your device or certain devices to your Wi-Fi network just by clicking the button. If you'd rather do that, then go through the whole password process. But then the other button is the ability to actually just turn on and off the Wi-Fi. We've noticed an increasing number of people that kind of like to have that in a router device. You know, it can help with things like certain securities, or if people just want to use the router for the gigabit LAN ports that are on there instead and not actually use the Wi-Fi, then you actually do have the capability of just turning the Wi-Fi on and off with just a click of a button. Okay, so we're going to go over a little bit of the security aspects of the router now, because there is a good few of them that support this. So first thing is that the router supports WPA3, which is the latest in cutting technology in the Wi-Fi security protocol area. You've also got auto firmware updates, which deliver the latest security patches to your router to ensure it's always up to date. That's always something they recommend, that it's always up to date. You've also got VPN support secure, so which you can access to your home network when away from home. This is actually something that would be critical if you wanted to use like Arlo products and you wanted to access the local storage on those devices. This is something where this router can access that for you. You've also got SPI firewalls, which will block unintended access from your network. And you've also got your access to controls to, you know, you can basically control what devices go on where and what kind of accessibility they get. And the best thing is also a guest network. So you may be someone that wants to have a separate network purely for guests when they come over, to keep it all separated from your devices and your access. In addition to the security measures I just talked about, Netgear also has the Netgear Armor software program. This is something that, you know, is attributed to a lot of the Nighthawk products, and it really gives you a lot of access to things like, you know, parental care and a heap of other really necessary security features. However, just be aware that it is a subscription-based service. So I believe you get probably some kind of trial when you set up the product to start with, but if that is a service you want to continue using the Netgear Armor, just be aware that there are some costs involved. So with all these specs and features, you may be asking, who is this even for? Well, I would say it's pretty good for a wide variety of people. You know, it's definitely got a lot of aspects which would be suitable for guys that are using it for high performance uses or high performance gaming, but it can be useful even just for just a standard home as well. I guess the thing with these is it's similar to some of the other products we've talked about before, where it's about future-proofing, because I guess my only limitation on the Wi-Fi 6E right now is that as it's quite new, there's not a huge amount of devices that can use this network or use this band at the moment. It is something that is growing rapidly, but it is something that is growing. I know that at the moment, certain Samsung and Google Pixel phones will incorporate it. I don't believe iPhones are there just yet, but I can't imagine they'd be too far behind. So to conclude, the new Netgear Nighthawk RAXE300 is a latest innovation in the router technology space, which is now going to introduce the new 6 GHz band. Like I just mentioned previously, the only limitations I have right now is just the accessibility based on devices, but that is something that will improve dramatically over a short period of time. It solves a lot of issues like the increased number of devices showing up on all our networks, some of the interference you're having between those bands, and really a lot of it is the congestion. That's a huge thing, is that congestion, which limits your bandwidth. This new Wi-Fi router can solve all of those issues, and furthermore, even give you some really great, fantastic speed
wired connections with the gigabit options that you've got as a LAN port. You can even turn on and off the router, on and off the Wi-Fi aspect of the router as well. And you've got a heap of really good security measures on top of that too. So I would really think this is a great option, and especially for the price as well. They do have varying options as well, which come at higher price points, but I do believe that on the price point this one is, it's getting into a really good value for money option. So guys, my name is Mikhail from Device Deal. I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did like, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask us. You can contact us by email, online chat, phone call. We're here to answer your queries all the time.